Now, as the 2024 presidential campaign hots up in the US, the gloves seem to be coming off. Republican Kevin McCarthy, who's the Speaker of the US House of Representatives, has announced a formal impeachment inquiry against President Joe Biden, claiming that a culture of corruption surrounding the president has been unearthed. It's not clear, though, what months of Republican investigations have actually revealed and whether there is in fact any concrete evidence of misconduct by President Biden. McCarthy said these are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction and corruption, and they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives. The inquiry is set to focus on allegations of improper business dealings involving the president's son, Hunter Biden. A House Oversight Committee memorandum from early August claimed that evidence suggested the Biden family and their associates received more than $20 million from foreign sources. Now, a report in the Washington Post recently said that according to their investigation, only $7 million went to Biden family members, mostly Hunter, while the rest went to associates, but no specific payments were made to President Biden, or at least could be identified. The inquiry also questions Joe Biden's involvement in his son's business dealings. Former business partner Devon Archer has said Biden was put on speakerphone with potential business associates, but clarified that these were casual conversations that never discussed Hunter Biden's business dealings. A Democrat-aligned watchdog group, the Congressional Integrity Project, says it found no evidence of any conflict of interest on Biden's part. Republicans, on the other hand, have raised concern about an unverified tip to the FBI claiming Biden pressured the Ukrainian government to fire a prosecutor to hold an investigation into Ukrainian energy firm Burisma, the company whose board had Hunter Biden as a member. An FBI document detailing the claim was obtained and released by Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. However, the Justice Department investigated the claim for 8 months during the Trump administration and ultimately abandoned its probe due to insufficient evidence. The former CEO of this company also rebutted the claim. House Republicans have suggested the Justice Department interfered in an investigation into Hunter Biden's tax returns based on testimony from 2 IRS whistleblowers. However, other witnesses called by Republican representatives testified that neither President Biden nor Attorney General Merrick Garland interfered in the investigation. The Justice Department has altogether denied these claims that are being made by the Republicans. In his announcement of the impeachment inquiry, McCarthy referenced alleged communications between Biden's staff members and Hunter Biden's team regarding media responses from Burisma. The House Oversight Committee cited an email from Eric Schwerin, a Biden family business associate, to an Office of the Vice President staff member. According to the committee, the email contained the quotes that the White House should use in response to media outreach regarding Hunter Biden's role in this company. The White House has dismissed these allegations as part of a wild goose chase. Now, even as this impeachment inquiry unfolds, the allegations of corruption against President Biden and his family remain highly contested, with the Democrats questioning the validity of these claims. The White House, too, has reacted sharply, terming this move a witch hunt to impede President Biden's 2024 re-election campaign. And let's not forget, the Senate needs to give its clearance too for any impeachment proceedings against the president to go ahead, and that is highly unlikely as the Senate is controlled by the Democrats, unlike the House, where the Republicans have a majority.
That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the President would want to answer these questions and allegations as well.
Okay, let's go back to Shri to understand the political implications of this development. Now, the fact, Shri, that the presidential race is hotting up is obviously quite evident. But, this is, of course, not the first time that there is talk of a US president possibly facing impeachment. We've seen US presidents face impeachment in the past, but nobody's ever been removed from office through an impeachment procedure. However, the bigger question here with regard to Biden is this. Number one, can they really go ahead with impeachment proceedings against Biden, given that the Senate is controlled by the Democrats? And number two, the evidence that the Republicans keep referring to. What is that evidence all about? Where is that evidence? Because as one media report after another from America seems to suggest that there was an inquiry by the Justice Department under the Trump administration lasting several months that was actually unable to unearth any such concrete evidence. And in the end, it was just the probe was simply abandoned.
Right. So let me answer the easy question first, Neha, which is whether an impeachment proceeding can be initiated against him. Obviously, it can be by the House because that doesn't take much. It doesn't even need a vote for an impeachment proceeding to be launched. But what will be harder is for them to actually convict, which is a power only the Senate has. I'll come to that a bit later, but this is a political fight. Let's not mistake it for anything else, Neha. This is a fight which actually began under President Donald Trump's, reign. And it occupied a lot of the 2020 election campaign also. Now that's been, carrying on since that time to now, because now we are on the, we are now going to witness another election next year, in November next year, and the campaigns have already begun. And there are indictments that have happened against President Trump. And GOP wants to, put pressure on Democratic Party. And as Mr. Biden, the current president, is their default, candidate for the 2024 elections, obviously they want to, target President Biden. But the fact remains that various inquiries have been done, have been done in this matter, going as far back as 2020. So it's been 3 years, and none of the inquiries has been able to actually pinpoint anything which directly connects President Biden to what they're claiming of allegations of graft or taking money. So there is absolutely zero evidence which anyone has been able to produce. Even Republican, the fiercest of Republican critics, have not been able to produce anything which directly points to President Biden's involvement in any way. So now comes the matter of impeachment and what happens. Let's say if the impeachment motion is passed and it goes to Senate, but Senate is controlled by the Democrats, the 52 versus 48. So it's unlikely that President Biden will be convicted and asked, made to leave his office. I don't think that's going to happen. At the end of it, if no one is able to produce any concrete evidence which suggests that President Biden was directly involved in his son's business and his affairs and was in a position to use his office when he was vice president to basically, help Hunter Biden make monetary gains, then this is going to just die away, Neha. So at the end of it, there are some investigations happening against Hunter Biden also for tax evasion, possession of guns, all those things. So ultimately, if there is nothing which comes against President Biden, what it'll boil down to is the fact that the Biden family is just like any other family in the world. Every family has its problems. Every family has children who create some problems which then parents have to deal with. In this case, the parent happens to be the most powerful man in the world. So I think that is the difference. But unless Republicans are able to throw something at President Biden which sticks to him, I think there is absolutely no danger of him getting convicted, even if he gets impeached, Neha.
Well, clearly, as the election draws closer, the two sides are going to dig up all the dirt that they can on each other. That is very clear.